Hello, welcome replayers. How are we all doing? So for those of you who weren't here 5 minutes ago who are watching this on replay, yes, I am in my HiFi. Yes, my Wi-Fi is down today. Yes, the Zoom link was wrong in the email address, or it wasn't wrong. It was the right email. It was the right Zoom link, but for some reason it didn't want to work. But the universe shall not beat me. It shall not beat me today. So we are in the car. And it is very hot, but we are going to do our best to get you guys 30 pieces of content before you leave this room today, this superficial on-screen room. Thank you, Judith. Yes, waft them my way because it is trainable. Okay, so before we get started, how do you currently feel about the content that you're putting on socials right now? How do you currently feel about the content that you are putting on socials right now? Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you. Could be better, average, on a steep learning curve. It's all new to me. That's fine. I'm actually feeling that it's getting better. Callie, you're smashing it at the moment. Got to get better. Unsure it's what I should be doing. Unsure it's doing what it should. Okay. Okay-ish, but trying to keep improving it. Aren't we all, Julie? Aren't we all? There's never a point where it's, there's nothing to improve upon. Okay-ish. Thought it was okay. If you're smashing your content at the moment. I need to be consistent and relevant. Yes, that would definitely help. Good, but could always improve. Absolutely. Mine totally needs improving. Think I'm doing okay and doing what other people think other than me. Right, Fiona. I think I'm doing okay, but what do people think other than me? Yes, absolutely, because it's all about what other people think, not what you think. I've run out of creative ways to put my message out. Sometimes you don't need to be creative, you just got to be consistent. You don't need to be Richard Branson, and you don't need to be coming up with creative guerrilla marketing activities all the time, but you do have to be consistent, and you've got to be consistently consistent. And that's something we will talk about today. So who is ready to create 30 pieces of content in the next 60 minutes? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Okay, so I covered some of this with my Infamous crew the other day. So if you hear from Infamous, then we're going to recover some of what we talked about the other day, but it's super important, okay? So the first thing that I want you to be thinking about is educational content. How many people are actively creating educational pieces of content weekly, if not daily? Educational piece of content weekly, if not daily. Well, I bloody hope so, Nini, because if you're not, at this point, I give up on my job. I give up on my job. Mandy, okay, so Nini, for those people who think that they're doing it weekly, think about, are you doing it daily? And if you are doing it daily, think about how it can get better. Okay. Judith Oatley, yes, fantastic. I'm going to turn the car on because the aircon, I just can't breathe. Sorry, girls. Dying in the name of social media is not what I planned for my life. Okay. Have a lot stacked up, not creating new every day. Well, that's good. Okay, but think about the content that you have got. Think about the content that you have got. How is that working out for you? Do you think it could be more educational? Do you think it could be more consistent? Do you think that the education that you are creating for other people is what they want to see? Or do you think that the audience isn't right? So if you aren't making the sales, let's keep this very simple, right? Let's keep this very simple. If you're not making the sales that you deserve and desire in your business, there are a few reasons why. First reason, you don't have the audience that you need to sell the stuff that you're selling, right? You might have a very large audience, but if you have a very large audience of men, for example, and you sell women's flip-flops, there are only a very small portion of men that are going to ever buy women's flip-flops. Whether that's that might be their thing, they might be buying them for their wives, they might be buying them for themselves. But it's a very small portion of your audience that are ever going to buy women's flip-flops. So you might have a fairly large audience, but they might not be the right audience. So that's something that I want you to be thinking about always. The second thing that I want you to be thinking about is your messaging, because your messaging needs to be clear. So if you're creating educational content, and it is not hitting, and people aren't taking value away from it, and people aren't understanding who you are, what you do, all of the fun stuff. Sorry, I got distracted by Judith's dirty old men, or the dirty bin men story. If you are not making the sales that you desire, which as we know in this time economically has become exceptionally hard for a lot of people, let's call a spade a spade. If you are not still making sales, or if you're not making some sales, or if you're not making enough sales, that is one of the things I want you to look at. Audience. Is my current audience the right audience for me? Is my current audience the right for me with selling the stuff that I'm selling right now? It doesn't mean that you have to go and clear out your entire audience, but what it does mean is you've got to come up with a strategy to reach new people, right? One of the biggest things, and I've talked about this before, one of the biggest challenges you will face is having to juggle the act of growing a new audience versus tickling the fancy of the audience that you currently have. You have to do both at the same time. If you are not actively growing your audience on a daily, regular basis, you will come to a point where your business is at a standstill. Okay? I've been in business long enough to know this firsthand myself on several occasions. There is no lecture here, there is no shame, there is no guilt. But what I do know is that it will happen. So you've got to be consistently growing your audience, as in new people, new people, new people, new people. But at the same time, in addition to that, you've got to continuously tickle the fancy of the people that you already have in your audience, right? Because if you don't, those people will get annoyed and they'll run away and they'll find somebody else to work with. Or those people will no longer be your clients. They'll fall away. They'll be like, bye, she hasn't paid me any attention, or she hasn't provided me with any value, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And so that's really, really important. So when you're thinking about educational pieces of content, you're thinking twofold. You're thinking potential new eyeballs on what I do, right? So you're re-educating people all the time on, hi, this is me, this is what I do, this is what I'm about, this is how we can help people, here's some value, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Value heavy. Plus, you're thinking about when somebody new comes into your space, you are re-educating those people. You're educating those people for the first time, and you're re-educating the people that are in your network. Does that make sense to everybody? So at no point ever do I want you to get to a point where you're like, well, everybody knows who I am. Right? Because they don't. Somebody I've known for a very long time the other day said, Leona, what actually do you do? I was like, excuse me? Hello? Did you fall off the face of the earth for the last 7 years? She knew that I did MIB, right? But she didn't really know what MIB was about. Now, whose fault is that? That's my fault. That's my fault. That's not her fault. That's my fault. Am I consistent? Yes. Am I visible? Absolutely. Can you escape me? No, you can't. But could I do a better job? Of course, right? So there is never a point in your business where you're like, I've got this shit down and I'm so organized. Sorry if there's small people in the room. You know, I've got this stuff down. I'm super organized. I'm just smashing and crushing my business, right? Nah. If you ever get to that point, you need somebody to check you, because the reality is, this is why big organizations have marketing teams, because we are always looking to improve our marketing. Always. We're looking to get better at communicating with the people that we have in our current audience and our people that we have for a potential new audience. I'll give you a prime example. Why do you think McDonald's bought out a vegan burger? Why did Liz is very excited. Why do you think McDonald's bought out a vegan burger? That's not probably tickling the fancy of their current audience, but in bringing out a vegan burger, what are they doing? They're growing their audience into a different demographic. People that want vegan food, but they want fast food, but they want vegan food, right? So they're thinking about actually what they're creating and who it is that they want to target, and it's very specific. It's very specific. And more and more people are turning to vegetarian and vegan lifestyles, so they're having to be progressive, right? And some of us are not being progressive in the content that we're creating. We've been creating the same content for the last 10 years and it worked 10 years ago, therefore we're going to bang our head against a brick wall and we're going to continue to create the same type of content. I'm telling you, because I've been growing businesses using social media for over 12 years. What worked 12 years ago doesn't work now. There are elements of what works. I'm just making sure you can hear me through the blowers. There are elements of what used to work, still work, but not all of it. So you've got to be very reactive. Now, when you're growing a business, typically when I'm coaching and mentoring somebody, we're thinking long term, right? We're thinking 12, 18, 24, 3 years, 5 years out. When it comes to your marketing, again, very similar, but you have to be more proactive and reactive. So you've got to think on your feet, and you've got to be a little bit quicker turnaround in adjusting and turning the dial. And now I don't recommend that for business strategy, but I do recommend that for marketing, because everything changes in an instant. We only need to look at what's going on in the UK at the moment with the riots, right? People and businesses are responding to that. They're needing to respond to that because businesses are being affected. So one of the people that I had a conversation with was earlier Gully. So Gully runs Strike Back Self-Defense. She's running a freebie. I said you need to focus on the fact that there are, lots of things going on. We need to push now because people are feeling unsafe. People are feeling even more unsafe than they did before the riots, and they felt pretty unsafe before then. Now we've got a huge population in the UK of people that feel very unsafe and very targeted. So why is that even more important that we react to that through our content? Because of course there are people going, I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to go to the shop. Everywhere's on lockdown. I need to be careful. I need to be mindful, blah, blah, blah. All of the horrific things that they're thinking. So as a business, your marketing has to respond effectively to those things. Okay? So when you're thinking about your educational pieces of content, you're thinking, right, new audience, I need to educate them on who I am, what I do, how I can help them, all of the fun stuff, the benefits of working with you or buying your lipstick or wearing your t-shirt or coaching with you or eating your food or la la la, whatever it is. What are the benefits? And we're going to cover that in a moment. The next thing you're going to do is think about, for your current audience, how are you tickling their fancy? So why have we changed it to Social Media Summer School from Coffee and Chat? Because here's why. Over summer, MIB goes quieter. Of course, we've got a whole community full of people, and a lot of them have children, right? So they get quieter. Coffee and Chat goes to the back of their mind, right? It's not a priority. So what do you guys need in the summer? You need more support because, hello, we're tested emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually. If we've got children at home, it's a challenge, right? If you're homeschooling, you're just challenged the whole time, by the way. And Coffee and Chat doesn't have the same pull as free training. Now, I always respond to people accordingly. So I switched to my marketing. So the education piece has been, let me tell you about social media. Let me give you a guest expert that will teach you about social media. Let me teach you what I know about social media. So all of our marketing has been around social media. Did you know this about social media? Did you know that about social media? Did you know this about PR? Did you know that your PR needs to line up with your social media? Blah, blah, blah. It all is consistent with each other. The education is both for our older clientele, our more established MIBs, and it still tickles the fancy of the new ones because they're like, hang on a minute, what's this freebie? Can I get involved? Who is this batshit crazy woman? And what am I going to learn? Right? That is how you effectively educate different types of people. So what I'm going to do is going to put you into a breakout room, and I'm going to give you 7 minutes. I'm going to give you 7 minutes to come up with eight educational posts around what it is you do. 8 educational posts around what it is that you do. So think about who you are, why you do what you do, what your business mission is, what your business vision is. I haven't got time to dig into these in depth today. If you want me to dig into these in depth, you need to join the hub, by the way, just put that out there, and we'll talk about that later. Your business mission, your business vision, what you can do for people, the results. Here's how to. So 3 top tips, a blog on how to effectively XYZ ABC, right? A short form piece of content on how to XYZ ABC. Does that make sense to everybody? Do not overthink it. Write the list, and we're going to go through that list together, okay? Just to sense check those things. Is everybody super clear on what they've got to do? I mean, Kathy, you're not clear on what you've got to do. Come on.
Only because my internet completely dropped while you were talking.
That's all right, I'll let you off. Well, that makes two of us, so don't worry about it. So you're going to go into your breakout room. You're going to write down 8 things that you can do for educational content, Kathy. So
Okay.
did you know mushrooms help you relax by 45%? I've just completely made that up. Could be a statistic, right? So educational content is educating people on your product, educating people on your service, educating people on your brand, educating people on your business, educating people on how they can do something and how they can make their lives better by wearing your lipstick or you know, applying their lipstick at 3 a.m. because then it will last all day. I don't know, whatever it is, right? But the educational piece is super important. And the more effective you become at that, the better you will sell. We forget because we are 5, 10, 15, 20 steps ahead of our ideal clients when it comes to the thing that we're helping them with, actually, that they don't understand what you're saying. They don't understand the language of what it is that you're using. They're thinking, I'm really stressed, and that's how I feel. Maybe as somebody who deals with somebody in mental health, you're thinking, well, they're dysregulated and, you know, they're you know, frontal something is at a wackadoodles. I'm just making this up. Nini's like, oh, for God's sake, Leona, please don't quote the brain at all and my name in the same sentence. Like, whatever. And you're thinking that as an expert, and I'm thinking, shit, I'm running around like a headless chicken. I'm really stressed. And Nina's going, Leona, it's okay. The amygdala isn't communicating with the you know, reticular activating system. Okay, it's going to be fine. All you got to do is ABC 1, 2, 3. But as a regular human, my thinking is this is how I feel. So when you're creating your educational piece of content, you want to be thinking in the minds of your ideal client versus their brain of the person that you are with the experience that you have today. I see it all the time. I'm going to help you go on a diet and your body's going to go into ketosis. Well, what's that? I'm going to help you burn, you know, this layer of fat. What is that? I just want to know how I'm going to feel, how I'm going to think, what I'm going to look like at the end of it, you know, all of that stuff. I don't need the science behind it. I don't really care about the science behind it. And if I care, I will ask you and then you can educate me later down the line. Does that make sense to everybody? Awesome. Okay. So.
How to use things. And then the results. Yeah. And why I do what I do.
And actually I think that stuff is really fascinating, like before and afters, demonstration type of education is really, really good. It gets people kind of very engaged. When you think about reality TV, guys, reality TV is massive. So, and that's a small version of what we've got in our hands when we're using our phones. You know, we're giving people the access to us externally all around the world, and we get to curate what that looks like, and we get to show people exactly what we want to show people. So every single time you're creating a piece of content is an opportunity to demonstrate to the outside world exactly who you are and what you do. Most of us waste that opportunity because we forget to plan our content, and so therefore it's a little bit more disjointed and not as cohesive as it should be and as educational as it should be, and actually it doesn't lead people somewhere. Which the reality is we're creating content, unless you love social media for the sake of loving it, we're creating content because we want to sell something, because we're business owners, right? And don't feel bad about that. So we're not just here to, you know, to talk about tea and coffee all day on socials. So who found that helpful? Who found that helpful? Sorry, your internet went completely. Maybe there's something in the air with Wi-Fi today. Hello. Who found that helpful? I did mine today, but I think it was too technical. Interesting. So think about it. Fold in your personality. Think about where you were, because typically most business owners set their business up because they were where they were a few years ago. You needed more time, Kate, because you just love to talk. You love to talk, Kate. You got to learn to talk faster. So at the end of the day, you can walk away and use these principles and do this at any given moment. for you. This is just to help you guys. But I wanted you to understand how you can do this. Really helpful, good concrete ideas to use. Fantastic, good, helpful for you. Absolutely. Anybody not walk away with their 8? Anybody not walk away with their 8? Okay, Anita, I'm coming to you. We've got 1 minute to riff.
Yeah, so I've only got 2. How to, obviously you was in the room for that, and reviews.
Okay, so t-shirts. Anita, are we focusing on your t-shirts?
Yeah.
Educational around your t-shirts. Go and look, anybody that sells clothing, go and look at Popsy Clothing. Go and look at Popsy Clothing and have a look at the machine that Cherish has built, right? She built an entire community around dresses with pockets. Like, hello. You can create anything from anything if you put the right twist in it. So go back to what I said to you before, Anita, that your empowerment t-shirts should be based around the empowerment. They're not a t-shirt. I can go and buy a t-shirt from Tesco. Well, I can't here in Mexico, but I could if I was in the UK. I could go to Walmart if I was in America. I could go to Zara online. I could go to ASOS. I could go to Pretty Little Thing. I could go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I could. But the reality is why am I going to buy your t-shirts? Because they make me feel good, because they've got an empowerment slogan on them, because I'm part of the community. And I've sold empowerment t-shirts, so I know this for a fact. We used to sell MIB t-shirts with quotes on when we very first started MIBA, actually. We had a massive photo shoot with lots of our leaders come wear t-shirts. We sold a ton of them. Women wore them all over the place. We donated money to charity, so therefore we were giving back and people were benefiting from them. It was just massive, right? It was massive. And you could have bought those t-shirts in Primark for £5 probably, but that's not how much it cost me. But the reality is we provided women with a feeling, and that we sold that feeling of community, support, education, collaboration, spirit, because we had women from a size 0 to size 24 modeling. So what did that demonstrate? Inclusivity. Everybody wants to feel included. They want to feel seen. They want to feel validated, and they want to feel heard. Doesn't matter why. Doesn't matter because of what. It just matters that they feel that way. And so that is what I'd be using as an anchor for your content, not just an empowerment t-shirt, because empowerment t-shirts now are everywhere. You're selling the community. You're selling that they're part of this girly gang together, or guy gang, or whoever, human gang together, but you're selling togetherness.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's the education piece. I can help you feel less alone through wearing a t-shirt.
Thank you.
Mad? And when Popsy people see another Popsy person wearing a dress, they go bananas. They're like, oh my God, it's a Popsy in the wild. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's just a dress, really. They get very excited. Okay. Oh my gosh, Mia Moore, what am I doing? Okay, thank you very much. Right. Okay, let's get back to it. So we've got educational content. Next, inspirational content. Think about what is inspiring to your people. So we're thinking about our current people, and we're thinking about our future people. What is inspirational to them? What is going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm absolutely obsessed. I need to get involved with this because this person is crushing it, or I've seen them move to Mexico, or I've seen them start homeschooling, or I've seen them start a new Facebook group and they're crushing it. What is going to be inspirational to them? What is going to be inspirational to them? Let's think about it. We're thinking about, we want another 8 things. What's going to be inspiring to them? I know what's inspiring to MIBS. I've been doing this 7 years. I know you guys better than you know yourself at this point. Honestly, it's quite scary. Okay? I know that some of you are turned on by the fact that I've got a client who is going to make 400 grand in commission. And I know that some of you are turned on by the fact that I've got another client that can afford to pay for a food shopping without stressing. Right? I know who prefers what. I know there are some people who love the fact that I'll buy a second-hand car and give it away to a maid, and I know there are some of you that will love the fact that I drive a nice soft top down the Pacific Highway coast in LA. Right? I know you guys, and I know exactly what turns you on and when it turns you on. I know what is inspiring to you. You were all so different, yet I understand each and every single one of you because I've been doing this for a very long time. The more that you understand about the people in your current audience and the people in your audience to come, the better you get at communicating with them. I know I used to not know, right? I used to think, got to become somebody I'm not. I've got to wear a suit. I've got to have a whole lighting setup. I've got to be perfect and la 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 la. And then I was like, do you know what? The majority of people respect the fact I'm sat in my car here with the aircon blaring because I haven't got any Wi-Fi. Whereas 5, 6 years ago, I'd have said, I can't do it. I can't not be perfect because I've got to sell perfection. And actually that's bollocks because the majority of you, 98% of you in this room and the people watching on replay will be like, thank God Leona's not perfect because I never will be. I got too many things going on. I haven't got time to set up a whole lighting rig. I definitely don't have the finances to buy, you know, a whole camera setup and la la la, this, that and the other. You're like, this woman can make money sat in a car with her hair not brushed on a hot day in the middle of Mexico with zero Wi-Fi. If I can, you can, and that is inspirational to you. So that's what I want you to be thinking about. What turns on your audience? Absolutely, yes, I can give examples. So Kathy, it could be actually your tinctures help somebody go from frazzled to focused in 30 days. God, I should be in PR. That was really good. Natalie, move on over. Don't tell Natalie. I don't think she's here, but I'm coming for a job. It could be that. And that's inspiring. How many people feel frazzled? Most people, especially as British people. Hello. So if you can show me, if you can demonstrate to me, and this is educational as well, if you can demonstrate to me the fact that Mary, you've taken Mary from frazzled to focused in 30 days using your mushroom tinctures, that's going to be inspirational to me. And you could go even deeper than that. You could talk about what was happening for Mary when she was feeling frazzled, and you can talk about what she's able to achieve as now she's super focused. Oh my gosh, Mary's gone from like not forgetting her kids at the school gate to now making 15 grand a month because she's able to hyperfixate on the shit she needs to do when she needs to do it. Yeah, anybody else want 15 grand a month? Great, sign us up. Thank you very much. We'll have some on subscription. Does that make sense to everybody? So what is your inspirational content going to be? It isn't motivational quotes all the time. They work to a degree. But they have to be the right quotes for the right people. Right? It can't just be, well, I've seen, you know, this quote, so I'm going to repurpose it and use it. It's got to be something that's going to emote a feeling in somebody in your audience. And that goes back to the more that you know what turns them on and turns them off, the better it is that you can curate your content so it can speak to their soul. That's what we want to do. We want to speak to somebody's soul. We want them to feel like it doesn't matter how big their audience is, you're talking to them as an individual. Eight pieces of inspirational content. What are those things going to be? Come on, let's riff. Tell me. Tell me.
Would owner stories, because I sell a product for a kitchen that's good for lots of people. Would owner stories be inspirational?
Absolutely, 100%. And it could be the fact that you've helped somebody, so they've come in, they have, you know, they've got a certain budget, and you've helped them create their perfect kitchen, their ideal kitchen. Sorry, Joe, I'm going to mute you a sec. You've helped them create their ideal kitchen within their budget. And actually, how inspirational is that to people? Because most people want, especially women, because we spend a lot of time in the kitchen, we want a kitchen that we love. But often it's our budgets that get in the way. It doesn't matter how big your budget is, by the way. When it comes to kitchen, they're bloody expensive. So that could be that it's actually inspiring to me. Or you can show a before and after picture. This is the kitchen before, this is the kitchen now. With a few small tweaks, actually we transform the kitchen. They were able to enjoy family dinners around the table, or breakfast time around an island in the middle. How much time do you spend with your kids in the kitchen if you have children? Ask the people in the room. Kitchen time is actually really important. I don't know about you guys, we have so many important conversations when we're in the kitchen. It's like the therapy room. It's the therapy room. Behind the scenes video showing my progress of capturing precious moments. Absolutely, Kimmy. Yes, 100%. Survivor stories. Yes, absolutely. So is that helpful to you, Natasha?
Very, thank you.
You're welcome. And the same with you. I've just seen you've got Thermomix in your title. Your inspirational stuff for your Thermomix could be, look, we took this mum who's got 5 kids from absolutely frazzled, feeding her kids chicken nuggets every night because she couldn't think about what to eat at the end of the day because she's exhausted. Nothing wrong with chicken nuggets, by the way, guys. And 2, being able to prepare some really simple, really healthy meals everybody loved in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, whatever, right? Without feeling like a bad mum because she'd fed her kids chicken nuggets 3 days in a row, right? Because hello, mum guilt is real. They're gonna survive. It'll be fine. Yeah? Does that make sense? And actually, humor, when it comes to inspirational stuff, being having humor in your inspirational stuff is really inspiring. I cannot count the amount of times that people have said to me, you're so inspirational, you just take things and you take the piss out of yourself and you laugh at yourself. And I'm like, what else am I supposed to do? What else I'm sat in a car in 40-odd degree heat. Like, what am I thinking? What is my life? Like, what is my life? But it's inspirational for people that can't be asked on some days when everything goes wrong. They're like, oh yeah, but it doesn't happen for anybody else. Yes, it does. Absolutely, it does. Shit hits the fan for everybody. They're just not talking about it. Okay? Thermomix is amazing. I took ours camping with electricity. That's my type of camping. That's inspirational to me. Okay? So have you got your 8 things? Have you got your 8 things? Yes? Are we getting there? Are we getting anybody seriously struggling and need help? Don't be afraid. Anybody struggling and need help? No? Okay, let's move on. So we've got educational, we've got inspirational. So anything that motivates and inspires your audience, your both existing and new potential ideal clients. The next thing is engaging content. Something that's going to pull in your audience to engage with you. So polls. It feels so bad driving around for Wi-Fi when it's exactly, there you go. I've inspired you, Kate. So polls, a really, really simple one to get people to engage with you. What happens when people engage with you is what? First of all, it helps your algorithm. Secondly, and most importantly, it helps you understand about the people you have currently in your audience. So if I said, I was going to show you my bank card then, maybe not a good idea. If I had 2 purses, right, and I held up 2 purses and I was like, which do you like, the brown or the grey? Do you like the brown or the grey? And 90% of people said, I like the brown. Then I know when it comes to selling purses, I'm going to sell more brown than I am grey. It sounds very, very simple, and it really is. Polls are the best thing that I have ever down, because the more that I understand about you guys, the better I can create the offer. So if I said to you, would you prefer training in the morning or the evening? And everybody voted for the morning, and then I went and did an evening training, I would be daft, right? You are literally, as an audience, giving me exactly what I need to know about you guys. And you are my ideal clients. So again, the more feedback that I can get from you guys, the better. So we create an engaging post, but not for engagement's sake, because I am not all about teaching you guys to just get engagement. I'm about teaching you guys how to make money. And they are two very different things. Engagement for the sake of engagement is pointless. You're going to end up with a ton of people on your socials that you spend all your day talking to, and you make a big fat zero amount of nothing. What you want to do is build genuine relationships. Some of them will lead to sales, some of them will lead to collaborations, and some of them will just be your top fans, right? And that's absolutely fine. So engagement. So what posts can you create that are going to get people to engage with you? Is it going to be a giveaway post? So, you know, drop an emoji here, tell us how you feel, share this, and we'll put you into a giveaway. Always something that you can afford, obviously. You know, how do you feel? How are you feeling today? Great, not great, terrible. Okay, so now as a hypnotherapist, right, I'm thinking, okay, so, you know, 90% of my audience are feeling terrible. What can I do to help those people? Okay, I could put out a freebie. Okay, I could put out a freebie. Okay, that's growing my list. Or I could offer a really, really super affordable offer and get those people in and help those people and make some sales in the meantime. Does that make sense to everybody? So what engaging posts can you create to get your audience to engage with you? And again, we're thinking about the audience we have and the audience we're building, because unless I dug into all of your audiences, we don't know whether your audience is the right audience that you've got right now for what it is that you sell. Only you can find that out, because you're the person that has to do the work. Anybody struggling? So it could be, Kathy, I'm going to come back to you in a minute because you're on my mind. It could be that one of your engaging posts is, have you ever fancied coming to one of our events and not being able to make it so far? Drop me an emoji and I'm going to pick somebody to win a half price place. Right? Or, you know, you could do a giveaway and give away a place, and you could give away an adult ticket. Most people are going to bring their kids, so therefore you're going to sell them a children's place, or most people won't come on their own, so you're going to sell them another adult ticket.
We always do giveaways. We normally give away 5 places.
Well, I haven't seen them, so you need to be.
Have you not?
No.
I don't know how to get them seen. They have to like and comment the page, and then like 2 weeks later they say, oh, I never saw that, I never saw that. And we only get like 6 or 7 or maybe 10 people commenting.
The thing is, the trick with socials is to get people commenting very quickly after you've posted. If you get people to comment straight away, so people don't agree with me on this, but I do it anyway because I'm a rebel. Hello. With my masterminders and my boot campers at the moment, what I get them to do is to get them to drop their main social post of the day in the group so that people can go in and comment back, because it boosts the algorithm. Right, it boosts the algorithm, and as long as you're not super spammy, and as long as you don't do a ton of follow trains for the sake of following, they're people that are working together consistently over a long period of time, and they would respond and react to their peers' stuff anyway. It just helps quickly boost the algorithm, and then more people see it. Kathy, you only need to look at my socials to know, right? I obviously had a very challenging week with my son last week. Look at my numbers.
Yeah.
Look at my 800, 750. I post about Mib, 6 people see it. You know, it's just the way social media is built. It wants drama. Like it unfortunately, it wants to push out content that's really dramatic, which is why your feed is full of all of the stuff that's happening negatively in the world right now. Even if you don't follow that type of content, it's shoved in your face because that's the way that it's created. So you've got to get around the fact that that's what you're battling with. So for me, one of the easiest things you can do is literally get your husband, get your child, wrangle everyone in. Right, I'm doing a giveaway. I would love for you to get involved because I really want to boost this. It's not cheating. It's just hacking the algorithm, right? And as soon as it starts to get traction, people start to see it more and more and more.
Okay, I'll try that one. Thank you.
Except yours against shadow bans, absolutely. And the reality is, if you talk about anything that's remotely controversial, then you will get shadow banned. I've got a client who talks about breast cancer, and her stuff is way down in the list of being shown because they don't want her talking about it, and that's really sad because it's education, but that's the reality. And that's also why part of the reason why I co-created Zizi, because I was sick and tired of people being shut down for speaking their truth, and I don't believe in that. But hey, we don't own Meta, so we've got to do what we've got to do whilst we're building our content and our businesses, right? We've got to just play the game. Okay, so we've got educational content, we've got inspirational content, we've got engaging content. So by now you've got 8, 12, 8, 16, 24 pieces of content. We've got 24 pieces of content, got 24 ideas written down on your piece of paper of things that you can talk about, right? Because the biggest challenge that I hear time and time again, Leona, I don't know what to say. Leona, nobody engages with me. Nobody listens to me. I'm sick and tired of saying the same thing. I've also said those things, but I promise you this will give you the foundation to work from. And the last thing that I want to cover is promotional content. Guys, I cannot stress enough, Cara French, I am calling you out from bootcamp this morning. Did she just swear at me? She was so naughty. I think you might have done all the way over there in Devon, you little stinker. If you aren't promoting your business, if you're not promoting your services, if you're not saying, hello, this is how you can work with me. Hello, buy my lipstick. This is why you need my lipstick. A big fat zero people, this is very grammatically correct, this training. 0 personas are going to buy your products or services. They're not. We think that people know what we do. We think that people know what we sell. We think that people know how they can buy from us. We think that people know about our offers. Our offers. Oh my gosh. Is it bedtime yet? It's only 2:30 here. Maybe bedtime. People don't know. People don't. How many people here don't know about the hub? Bloody better not be anybody, I tell you, because I'm being shit. Okay, nobody doesn't know about the hub. Well, that's good. I just demonstrated my own skill set here. But there will be people, and there are people in the MIB community that don't know about the hub. There are people in the MIB community that don't know that we do networking all over the world. Right? And whose responsibility is that? Mine and then my team. Right? Mine and then my team. It's my responsibility. So if you aren't saying, hello, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I do, here's my education, here's my inspirational, here's my inspiring, consistently, bam, 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 there you are, showing up. Here's Nini, I see her all over the place now, I need to buy from her, because all of a sudden I've seen her 75 times this week, and all of what she's saying makes sense to me. I need to work with her. How many times have you seen the same thing over and over again in slightly different ways, and you're like, I cannot escape this ad. I cannot escape this person. Maybe the universe, God, whoever, divine intervention, somebody is telling me that I need to work with this person, or somebody's telling me that I need to buy this perfume, or somebody's telling me that I need this dress, or somebody's telling me that I need this car. Hello. Absolutely 100% works every single time. Okay, so what I want you to understand is that's what you need to be thinking about. How are you promoting your products? How are you promoting your services? How many creative ways are you creating in order to say the same thing? That is, buy my stuff. Buy my stuff. 80% of your content should be valuable content. That is your education, that is your inspirational, that is your motivational, that is you talking about what it is that's going on. So education, inspiration, and engaging, right? That will help you build up that 80% of your content. And the 20% of your content should be sales. It should be sales. And the reason why people aren't buying from you is because they don't know who you are, they don't know what you do, they don't know how it benefits them, and they don't know how to buy. And every single person in this room, including me, can do a better job of promoting what they do. They can. They can. So let's think of 8 creative ways that you're going to promote your products or services. Are you going to go live? Are you going to do a reel? Are you going to write a long form piece of content? Are you going to write a short form piece of content? Are you going to stand on the corner and flyer? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to go and do a guest talk in somebody else's community where you're delivering a ton of value and then you're going to promote your stuff? Yes, Cara.
Is an example, I think I should have asked you this before because you have mentioned long form and short form. Is an example of long form writing a blog?
An example of long form could be a blog, or it could be a blog post. So you know how some people
story post, basically,
right?
Not
Yeah,
not a couple of paragraphs, like a
longer form post. Long for me is like 3 paragraphs. If I've written 3 paragraphs as my idea of long form, some people's is like 25 paragraphs, and that's not for me, right? Okay. It's not. So you got to. So first of all, you got to figure out what you love, what you're good at, and also how your audience effectively buys. You guys buy when I go live. You guys buy when I go live. You guys buy when I put a picture of my own face up. Weird, but you do, right? And so I know because I analyze your behavior. I'm not just thinking, oh, I like to look at my own face all day, every day, because really it's quite disturbing when you look at your own face all day, every day, you start to see all kinds of shit wrong with your face that probably isn't even there. Okay, so you've got to realize that there are some things that your audiences will love. There are some things that your audiences will respond to. Do those things. Do those things because those things work. Right? So think about creatively how you're going to promote what it is that you do. Are you going to do a podcast and at the end have a call to action? Because it is not a promotional post if you don't have a call to action. And a call to action is, here's how you buy from me. Here's inbox to book a discovery call. Inbox, right? Here's my buy it link. Here's my link to Presco. Here's Chanel. Don't just, have an advert on Facebook and then don't have a buy here now for their brand new Chanel perfume. That would be ridiculous. But that's what you guys are doing. You guys are literally giving away samples of Chanel perfume to everybody around you, letting them sniff, letting them to waft it all over themselves for free, and they're not. There's no buy it now link. That doesn't make sense. When was the last time you asked for sale? Would be giving out a leaflet be included in this? Well, I was slightly exaggerating, but absolutely you can give out a leaflet, 100%. We've got a boot camper who loves a leaflet and swears by them. But think about your 8 different ways that you can promote. And what are you going to say? What are you going to highlight? Think about the benefits. People buy because they need, or they feel like they need, a solution to a problem. I went into Sephora this weekend. I probably own, bear in mind I live with a makeup artist, I probably own in excess of, I don't know, 20, 25 lip liners, probably, all about the same colour because I wear the same colour traditionally. And I went into Sephora this weekend because I didn't like the lip liner I'd taken to LA, right? It would do, but it wasn't what I needed. So I went into Sephora and I was like, I need a soft lip liner that doesn't crumble, that doesn't need a sharpener, la 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 la. She gave me a lip liner. I didn't even look at the price I paid for it. And I was like, Mum, you do realize you paid $35 for a lip liner. I was like, I don't care. I needed the lip liner. It was soft. I didn't have to sharpen it. It was the right color. Great. Ludicrous when you think about it, but in that moment my focus was, I have a problem, my lip liner is not the right color and it's not going to suffice until I find the lip liner I need. You want people who are thinking that way. They have a problem, you provide a solution. The problem is, the disconnect is you're not telling them you've got a solution to their problem. Yeah. So what problem do you solve, and how do you translate that into your content? What problem do you solve, and how do you translate that into your content? Are you dealing with stressed people? Are you dealing with overwhelmed people? Are you dealing with people that don't feel seen and heard? Are you dealing with people whose makeup doesn't stay on and they're a busy mum? I don't want to try. I do not want to put my makeup on 16 times a day. I want to put it on once and not have to think about it until tomorrow. Really? Are you dealing with people that are poorly? Are you dealing with people that are overworked? Are you dealing with people that are looking for a job? Are you dealing with people that are pregnant, are stressed, they can't think about it, they don't want an epidural, they're just like, for the love of God, somebody give me some advice that isn't the NHS, because they're trying to, you know, force me into a ward. I'm not saying all of the NHS force you into a ward, by the way, but sometimes. Okay, it's a strange lady by the car. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Okay, you're laughing at me. This is like full-on ADHD. It's like a full-on ADD session. I've got a lady outside the car. I'm like, is there a monkey in the tree because the tree's swinging? I'm like, is there a jaguar going to come and eat me because I'm literally sat in the jungle? I'm over today. We're going to try again tomorrow. But this stuff works, right? Regardless of whether I'm in a car and I've got full-on ADD today, it will work every single time. Okay. So do you have 8 things that you can talk about when you're talking about promoting your stuff? Everybody have 8 things. She's found me. I don't know who she is. She's very pretty, but I would prefer she didn't stare in the car at me while I'm trying to train. Is anybody really struggling with this? Deb, you look like you're struggling. Would you like to talk about it? How are we doing our call after this? I will call you, Kate, don't you worry. Deb, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I am struggling a bit. I've done a few bits on all of it myself. It's just putting it all together to make them into posts, because I do struggle with my posts.
And that, Kate, Deb, that's fine. Okay, so let's think about this, right? Kate was talking to me, that's why she's in my brain. Listen, the reality is, if you put on a post that described a wonderful holiday and you were like, are you sick and tired of searching for the perfect location? I can help you source the perfect location within a budget that would make sense to you. Every single time you're going to have a conversation with people, because most people don't know how to look for holidays. They don't know how to stick within their budget. People are losing their damn mind about the price of holidays. If somebody could just take that off out of somebody else's brain, they would pay you. They would pay you.
Leon, can I just comment about that when it comes to travel? So it's something you might be able to use and make something funny out of it. Is I'm a Libra. I hate making decisions. So when it comes to something like that, I want somebody to put 3 things or 5 things in front of me and say, choose from that. If you give me something to look at for travel and say, this is a budget, Tash, where do you want to go? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm just going to bury my head in the sand, because I don't want the stress of choices. Someone like you helps somebody else make those choices.
Yeah. And
So
you're
you
right.
it out of the sand.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a perfect example. How many people are overwhelmed with the go out for food and they're like, there's too many things on this menu, I can't now think, it's too much choice. And this is why expensive restaurants typically keep their menus short and simple and concise, so you can make a freaking choice, right? You can make a choice. People need help in making a choice. They really, really do. Keep it simple. The best thing that anybody can do is keep their offer simple. Typically 3 things: low, middle, high.
Yeah.
And if it's a bespoke service, talk to me about your budget. What do you love? What do you like? Right? And let me help you with that. And that's got to translate in your content. Is I can create a holiday that you love in and amongst and make it make sense to your budget. And I will take the stress away from you, because actually the majority of people get very stressed out about going on holiday. People say to me all the time, how do you travel so much? I hate it. And I'm like, but it's normal to me. You're taking that stress away for people by sorting that stuff out for them. In Sicily, we had a take it or leave it option. It was amazing. There you go. Absolutely. I love that. Yeah. But I'm here. This social media school is not going away, guys. I'm going to be back and we can expand on these conversations. But I wanted to demonstrate to you guys today, because I know that content is a big hang up for a lot of you. It's like, what do I say? How do I say it? I don't know what to say. How often should I say it? Oh my goodness, it's such a big thing. It's really not a big thing. It's an extension of your business, right? Your social media is just an extension of a conversation. It's just a way to have conversation with people that you've probably never met before, or you might never meet, but might become a client. Does that make sense to everybody? Right. I want you to think about this. When you leave this room today, or this physical, metaphorical room, I want you to go away and I want you to look at the things you've written down and I want you to make sense of them. And I want you to think about, right, okay, Leona said 80% of my content should be valuable, 20% of my content should be sales. How am I going to put this into a strategy for myself? So what I tend to do is I use one day, one the next day, one the day after, one the day after, one the day after. If you were to have that, just that alone, your sales would increase. Your sales would increase. So educate them, inspire them, motivate them, tell them who you are, how to find you, all of the fun stuff, and you will win every single time. But it is not sexy and it is not exciting and it is not dopamine hitting central the majority of the time. It's boring and mundane and we don't love it and we dislike it a lot of the time. And because we're not getting immediate success, a lot of us are like, well, it doesn't work. It works every single time. I've used this process with multi-million pound clients. I've used it with brand new business owners. I've helped my kids make money with it. It works, but you have to do the work. And if you don't do the work, you will not make the sales. You just won't make the sales. And you want more money, right? Or you want to continue making the money that you're making, and nothing happens overnight. So the quicker you put this into action, the quicker you're going to start making more money. So take those 8 things per title and start to make sense of them and get your diary out. Look at your diary. Look at the content that's been getting engagement. Look at the content that's been getting interaction. Look at the content that was the thing that triggered those people to buy the things that you were selling, and reverse engineer it. Repeat it. You don't need to overthink it. It could be that you just tweak it a little bit and then you repost it the following week, right? And if you're not in the hub, you should join the hub. Because my training this morning was next level amazingness. I'm just going to put it out there. It's £27 a month. You get me, you get networking, you get co-working, and you get a guest trainer who is Nini. This month, she's amazing. Yeah, £27. It's a bargain. So be there. Does anyone have any questions before I go and have my one-to-one with Kate? Hopefully not on my laptop because my arms hurt. And they're really not that buff in this day and age. You're welcome, Kathy, no problem at all. It's been great to think outside the box and think of different options. Absolutely. It's a great way to keep things fresh. Super useful. Appreciate how you keep it real. Listen, there is no pretending in my game anymore. I'm over it. Been in this space far too long. You're so welcome, everybody. If you do have any questions, pop them in the group. I will absolutely answer. Just make sure that you tag me so I see them. Very helpful having a few new ideas. Good job, Julie. Need to put touch base with Anna. Yeah, absolutely. Give her a message. Thanks so much. Give me a lot of ideas. You're welcome. Go, please. Actually, I'm going to ask for something. Would you mind leaving me a little review in the main MIB group? If you've taken away some value, you can declare who you are. Hello, idea for visibility, just put that out there. So tell everybody who you are, what you do, and what you took away from tonight's training. And I will see you next week. All right? If you do have any questions, please feel free to ask. For those of you who aren't in the hub, get your butt over there because the replay from today's training is going to be in and it was banging. Love you guys. Have an amazing one. Take care.